Guess what's coming out next week? The Super Mario Brothers movie is finally coming out on April 5th. I'm actually pretty excited for this movie, to be honest. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think Illumination is going to knock it out of the park. And domestically, it's looking like it's going to make $90 million. It might even hit $100 million domestically. And that's domestic. Imagine what this movie is going to make worldwide, because Nintendo is a worldwide brand. People love Nintendo. And, you know, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Nintendo has a tight control over their IP. They've recently started to open up their stuff to other studios, which has created some really good games. I think like that Mario Rabbids game is actually pretty fun if you have a Switch and you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like a XCOM Lite, but it's actually pretty fun. We've seen some other bangers in the past, like the Super Mario RPG game, even though that one had some drama attached to it. I really wish that they would get together, get the band back together, make a sequel, a true sequel to that. I know there's Paper Mario, but I'd love to see a true Super Mario RPG too. But anyway, the movie comes out on the 5th, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to make $1 billion. It definitely could. I mean, look at movies like the Minions movie that came out last year. That movie, I'm pretty sure, made a crap ton of money. Illumination is good at what they do. They don't get overly political. They just give you a good time, and they want to sell stuff to families. There's a market there. Disney used to do that. Lately, they've been trying to push weird grooming shit into just about all of their movies, but that's not the topic here. What I want to talk about is how some people are salty because of capitalism and the fact that Nintendo is going to make money off of this movie, and it's awful because theme parks exist. I'm not kidding. I knew there was going to be salt over this movie. I also wonder, reviews come out tomorrow, I believe, on Friday, the 31st of March. I believe is when the reviews start to drop, early reviews. I wonder if critics will give it a bad look because of the fact that Chris Pratt is in it. I mean, we all know that they don't like him. A lot of people don't like Chris Pratt. I wonder why. Think about it. Anyway, in case you didn't know, back in the 90s, there was a Mario movie, had John Leguizamo in it. That's right, he played Luigi. It's an awful casting. The movie is kind of grown into kind of a cult movie at this point. It's almost so bad that it's kind of good, but there's nothing meaningful about that movie. It's a mess. There's actually some really interesting documentaries out on YouTube, of all places. You can go watch a lot of these. You should. It's an interesting story. If you've seen the movie, I would, even if you haven't, you should look into some of the behind-the-scenes antics that went into that, like the cast and crew getting drunk between takes and how the scripts changed during filming. It's a wild process. But that movie apparently had a deep meaning about a dystopian world, and it was actually a very anti-capitalistic movie. I don't know if we watched the same movie, because that movie didn't mean anything. It had no meaning. A lot of ways, it's a pile of shit. It's like The Room of video game movies. But apparently, this writer over at the Paste thinks it has a deep meaning movie with a lot of intellectual power. And it warned us about the new Super Mario Brothers movie. And also, apparently, because whales die at SeaWorld, you shouldn't see this movie. I'm not kidding. All of this language is in this article. This person is mad because Nintendo is embracing capitalism to have a movie made that will further its brand. And it's true. If this movie makes a boatload of money and a lot of people go see it and love it, guess what? Mario Brothers merchandise is going to sell. Mario Brothers games will sell, because if a kid goes and buys, because if a kid that's never played these games before goes and see this movie and he or she likes it, they'll probably want to play the games. And then next year, there'll be a theme park. And the difference between that old 1993 movie and this movie is the characters look the same across all media. So there'll be very little difference between the video game, the movie, and the theme park. And because of that, this writer literally has a meltdown. I knew shit like this was going to happen. So because Nintendo embraces capitalism or some shit, this movie is awful. I'm not kidding. Listen to all of this. So the first part of the movie is, or the first part of the article is explaining about why the original movie is quite genius and that it breaks down capitalistic themes. It's like, did we watch the same movie? The movie didn't mean anything. Fuck. It had no meaning at all. It's an awful movie. So here's where the shit show starts. Down here, at about halfway down, there's a quote from Miyamoto, who says basically that making a movie will increase the amount of people who would contact our IP worldwide and increase the amount of people engaging with our IP. Then we'd be able to further increase the spread of our media via video. And then the writer translates this to less hyper-political, Roland Jaffe fever dreams from the Max Headroom team, more inherently corporate productions made to sell video games. This is how Nintendo intends to further its own magic going into a new decade of video clips and theme parks that enhance the perspective, value, and mindshare of an intellectual property. Yeah, every corporation does this. But if it's not good, no one's going to go see it. And who cares? Welcome to society. These people all want communism. That's the end game here. Communism for everybody. That's why they're mad about this movie now. Woke people are very strange. By the way, this person is an anime feminist or writes for anime feminists. That's a website, apparently. Sure, this person has a lot of fun at parties. Then the writer goes on to complain about Disney World and how it fills swamps with concrete, and then goes on to talk about how the Mario movie somehow contributes to whales dying at SeaWorld. I'm not kidding. This is complaining about the theme park. Everything from SeaWorld to Universal to every last effing fun spot followed. Florida is now the place to go if you want to attend Hogwarts, ride a roller coaster that holds some silly record, or go watch a whale die slowly in a tank. And thanks in part to the Super Mario Brothers movie, likely immortalized in the Universal corporate canon, it will be the only place that you can go see plastic mushrooms and plastic trees from an old video game. This is an article about the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's a movie complaining. It's an article complaining about the fact that the new movie isn't hyper-political. It doesn't take on capitalism. And that there's a theme park in Florida, which has nothing to do with the movie, except for the fact that the brand is heavily synchronized across all mediums, so you'll recognize the characters no matter what media you pick up. And make no mistake, this will sell video games, which is the point. Listen to this final part before we go out. Praising the old movie and then shitting on the new one. This is somehow about the movie. Listen to this. Morton and Jankel's Super Mario Brothers movie will never be a video asset, but in 20 years, that may be all the Super Mario Brothers movie is: promotion for an aging theme park governed by fascist state policy, another concrete monstrosity supported by a drip feed of memorable moments, cold, unfeeling gray where even the smallest mushroom is plucked before it can grow through the cracks. Please, writer of this article, go outside and, as you probably say online, touch some grass. You need to. You really need to. So supporting the new Super Mario Brothers movie the new Super Mario Brothers movie, helps kill whales and supports fascist policy. Okay. These people are strange. I can't wait for the movie. I'm sure it's going to be a fun time. Hopefully. I hope it is. I want to believe it is because I don't think Nintendo will let them destroy their brand. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed to that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.